The name.
The name.
So
And
you looked for...
he came to Tashkent, and he left that family, and he went down, and he approached people, and I was a kid in a Nebashke, and he said, maybe somebody knows Boris Lederman. And only he was very well known, Boris Lederman. He had a shoe factory. And a woman listens like a child, a Nebasha, she approached him, who are you? And he told her the story, and she said, who was Boris Lederman to you? And he said, it's my papa's cousin, and I lost my parents. She took on the police there. Can you believe? Shmuel came later.
How did he get there? I mean, he also just found his way over there?
Oh, they fed.
After you got there, or
no, before we didn't know even we exist there. When we came to Tashkent, we find out that we have Herschel and Shmuel. Yeah.
So basically, the one that was walking was you, your father, your mother, and your sister.
And my sister and the family.
Who else?
The family.
Your father's sister, your father's aunt.
First cousin with a wife and 2 kids.
Oh, so you had a whole gang going.
Later, that cousin came to Tashkent. He knew about Tashkent, and he brought a little. He lost the car with the 4 horses. Only, you know what he did? He had a big packet of luggage, and this way he traveled to Tashkent, and we find a little dressing, what to dress, in there, in Tashkent. And Papa met him there, in Tashkent. That's what I know. It was
so you got to Tashkent.
Yeah.
So you thought you were already saved. I mean, at that point you were...
In Tashkent, I wasn't safe because what happened, my Papa and Mama, at that time Papa left Mama.
Okay, so that's when that started.
And Yossi...
Already the trouble started already
there.
On the trip, on the road to...
Boris, I don't even have to talk about it.
Hold on. So anyway, hi, we're back. So you got to Tashkent, finally got there. Herschel was there. Shmuel
came later.
Was there.
Yeah.
And the family was brought back together again.
Yes.
And
with
now,
a cousin
what
with
year was this about?
It was in 1942 maybe.
So it was deep into the war already.
Yes.
Was Russia already with war with the Germans?
At that time, of course.
Yeah.
And they took up Moscow and Leningrad. Leningrad was 9 months seized, and 8 people.
Yeah.
It was very bad at that time.
Yeah. So
until they threw them out.
You're living there. How you're making a living from just hand-me-downs?
No, from them. They were very nice people.
These
Boris. And he treated us. We were always...
Well, it sounds like he saved your lives besides...
We were swollen from hunger. Yeah. I had temperature from hunger. Yeah. We were zerbrochene Menschen.
Yeah.
Not playing.
How long do you think you were on the road till you got there, from the time you left the house?
Yeah.
From the time you left Romania till you got to...
I really don't remember. It's such a hard times. We were in big trouble.
So you weren't such a princess. You went through a lot of stuff already.
That was when I
you went through a lot of stuff.
I'm going to tell you, this is a very interesting story. So Mama said she finished a sewing school. Boris, maybe you can put her in a place where she should work. He had big connections, and he put me in a very nice sewing place, a business, because he was a businessman. And you know what I did? I didn't want to work. I said, they told me do that. I just was a rotten, spoiled kid. And
But how could you be so spoiled? You went through hell already.
only I still was.
You still was.
Yeah. And didn't know Russian, you know. I didn't know
You didn't
Russian.
speak Russian.
No, I didn't.
So okay, so wait a second.
You
Now,
know,
you got there around
that's the
22.
nicest part.
Yeah.
That he put me in, and they needed young people for the places where they had factories of armament. So the director of that place took that lazy, good-for-nothing girl and put into the factory where they made ammunitions. You know, and I was. They called me the lady from the rich country.
So what year was that about?
Everything was in
42, 43?
maybe. And in the end, I worked in the factory, and I have a sign here on the leg.
Where were you living? Did he provide you a house or
no,
an apartment, a hole, a room? What?
No, we had a little, like a общежитие, you know, I don't know how to say it. We lived with people. We had a little...
barracks or?
No, there was no barracks. They were, maybe we live in a rented one. I don't remember. With Mama, Anita, and
the boys stayed with you all the time?
yes.
I know your father wasn't there, but the boys were with you?
Shlomo.
Did your older brother help your mother?
What do they help? They went to school. They went to school.
They went back to school when they went to Tashkent?
Herschel was a kid. They put him into school when he came to Tashkent, and they cleaned them up, they dressed them, they fed them, and they sent them to school. And in between...
But your oldest brother was already...
in the army too.
He went to the army.
At that time they didn't take people that weren't Russian citizens into the army. But we were like Romanians, not Russians. You understand? Romanian.
Even though you had Russian citizenship, they still...
We didn't have Russian citizenship. We didn't have any Russian citizenship.
Well, you told me because your father was Russian, they considered you Russian.
We were at the wars. In the war, we were nobodies. Not common. They were. That was in Kishinev. That was a different story.
Okay, so in Tashkent now, you worked over there. You worked in the ammunition
factory. And I worked 12 hours a day, and I was sick. At that time, I dated some boy. I dated a boy, not sleep with him, only dated him, and I used to, I practically fall on my feet. This family that I tell you, the cousin, he didn't have to work, so he went to Farkatstroy. They built a big electro station in nowhere, in the mid park, Moshamrim. They put a factory. They built an electro station that will give electricity and all there. Thousands of miles electricity. And Abba was there as a...
so that's when you met Abba.
Yeah.
So that was, again, no, what year was that?
No, I didn't have... They saw my mama saw that I'm gonna go die. She said, you know what? How about run away from the factory? I couldn't go away, so I don't know if they are.
You lost them. So you went to work in this ammunition factory.
Yeah.
You hated it.
Yes.
Is that what you're saying? You hated it?
12. I hated it. I couldn't. I was a kid. I was used to you know, my part. What they did. I used to. With scissors, I used to pick the heated metal that they made
physical work
from the ovens and made forms of them.
So you're saying your mother suggested you run away from there?
I was very sick, and they had that cousin in Uzbekistan, where in a different city. And I left there. on the train, they put me on the train, and I went there with a little valise. And in the train, I meet a friend of my Yossi's, as Shmuel's. Oh, Sarah, where is Shmuel and this? I call Yafe, and I couldn't go in on the trains. It was the same, and I kept my valise, and he picked my valise and said, "Give me, Sarah, I'll hold it for you." And he took it away from me, and I lost his this. And I came to
your suitcase.
With everything. What I have done, with what did I go there? Everything. And I remained naked and burvas. Nothing. In the end, they waited for me there in Kisilarda. It was. They
What's
waited.
The name of the city?
It was.
That you worked?
Yeah, it was. He worked in that place on pumps. That pumped.
You mean he worked in that electric generating station. They were building there.
That was.
But what was it called? The city?
I think Kisilarda.
And it's close to Tashkent or far
200
away?
200 kilometers.
200 kilometers from your mother.
Yeah.
That's where you
I went down from the train and he caught me, that idiot, because it was already
Did you
near.
have contact with your father through those times or no? Nothing?
No. He was busy for himself.
All right.
I was
Anyway,
very bad.
So,
broken up. Ita worked with Mama on a factory that made nut factory.
Nuts.
They made nuts. Not nuts, only chutim kvedim. A factory, ropes. Ropes. And there they worked, and from that they had what to eat, a piece of bread and everything. And I was working because they throw me into the army. Ida was smaller and worked on that. She was a mess.
So,
and Mama...
by the way, Ita at that time was still a little... your mother still had to take care of her and everything, or...?
No, she was only...
Independent or not?
She worked in the factory. She worked in that...